Hello everyone. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing great. It's a lovely, chilly afternoon. It's nice and warm. Um, if you haven't done so, please, welcome to another video. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. The support really helps. And also, please like the video if you happen to like the topic that I'm going to talk about today. Please push that thumbs up button, and then also please push the notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Now today I want to talk about obviously I made a video on Tuesday talking about Man United and their transfer policy and all of that stuff. Today, I just wanted to talk about the latest transfer news from like the Premier League clubs. Obviously, I'm mainly talking about the big six Premier League clubs here, but I'll mainly be talking about Chelsea and Manchester City really because those are the clubs where there are new updates with regards to transfer news. Arsenal, there haven't been any updates with regards to transfer news, as well as Tottenham. There's no transfer news as of late. And Liverpool, there's no transfer news as well. So it's only, and then Man United, yeah, well, technically, I am going to talk about Man United by talking about Chelsea because, okay, obviously you'll find out in the video, but I will talk about Man United. Like, I'll talk about Chelsea, but in talking about Chelsea, I'll then have to go to Man United because Chelsea are linked with some of the players that Man United want to buy. So I'll be talking about Chelsea, Manchester City, and Man United with regards to their latest transfer news in the transfer market. Obviously, there are 3 weeks left of the transfer window. It's the 11th of August today. It's going to end September the 1st. So we are getting through the second week of August now. So basically, there are 2.5 weeks left of thingy. There are 2.5 weeks left of the transfer window. So the clubs are kind of getting busy trying to sort out their squads so that they can be obviously good for the remainder of the season. So I'll just first talk about Manchester City with regards to their latest transfer news. Manchester City were obviously, I think this transfer saga ended last week. They were in for Marc Cucurella, the player who played for Brighton at left back. Now, Marc Cucurella was really keen on going to Manchester City because he's a Spanish lad who grew up in Barcelona. He was part of the La Masia Academy for Barcelona, so he knows Pep well, and Pep really wanted him in the squad. So we had already agreed personal terms with Cucurella, and we were just negotiating with Brighton with regards to the transfer fee that they wanted for him. But Manchester City were bidding, they first made an offer for Cucurella to Brighton of £30 million, and then Brighton rejected the offer, and then Manchester City went back and offered an offer of £40 million, and then Brighton rejected it again. From my understanding, Brighton wanted an offer of upwards of £50 million, so they wanted at least £50 million in order to even start negotiating with any club. And therefore, Manchester City were not prepared to pay that thingy. They were not prepared to pay that amount of money for Marc Cucurella because they felt like he wasn't experienced enough for him to cost £50 million because he's never played in the Champions League. He's only played once in the Premier League. So Manchester City's hierarchy felt like it was too much of a gamble. It was too big of a gamble in order to pay upwards of £50 million for a player who lacks that experience, and therefore they decided that they were not going to go for him anymore. And then Chelsea came in, and Chelsea basically went in for Cucurella, and they first offered £50 million for Cucurella, and then Brighton said they want £55 million at least, and then they want £7 million in add-ons. And then Chelsea were prepared to pay that, and therefore they paid it, and they agreed personal terms with Cucurella because he was also interested with going to Chelsea because he was going to get an opportunity of playing in the Champions League, and therefore personal terms were agreed between Cucurella and Chelsea, and he had a medical, and then he's now a Chelsea player. So that's a player that Manchester City wanted, but obviously lost out on him because they were not prepared to pay the valuation that Brighton had basically put on him. So Manchester City have therefore been looking for a left back as of late because they wanted a left back in Marc Cucurella, but obviously they didn't get him. So they are currently looking for a left back as it stands. And the players that have been mentioned, it's Rafael Guerreiro, who's a guy who plays in the Bundesliga for Borussia Dortmund. He's a Portuguese international. And then they've also been linked with Bona Souza, and Sergio Gomez. Now, I don't know who Borna Sosa is. I never actually really watched the guy. But the Sergio Gomez transfer, this is a guy, it's a young lad from Anderlecht. He's a Spanish lad, but he played in the Belgian league for Anderlecht. But as of today, a fee has been agreed between Manchester City and Anderlecht of £11 million to sign the player. So Manchester City are set to sign Sergio Gomez as their new left back. And it's a fee of £11 million, and personal terms between Sergio Gomez and Manchester City have already been agreed. But Manchester City are still looking for another left back, another senior left back, senior international. They believe that Sergio Gomez is one for the future, and he might go out on loan or he might stay with the first team, but they still want to look for an experienced professional, a seasoned professional left back who's played internationally, who's played in the Champions League and all of that. So Rafael Guerreiro is the favorite right now in terms of the player that they are most likely to sign. So Manchester City are still looking for a left back. And then with regards to outgoings with Manchester City, Bernardo Silva is being linked with Barcelona. Apparently, Xavi, the Barcelona coach, he wants Bernardo Silva as one of his midfielders for the new season. Now, Barcelona at the moment are a bit of like shambles, to be honest, because they've signed Lewandowski, Rafinha, Christensen, Frank Kessie, but they actually can't register these players that they've signed. So they've signed them, but they haven't registered them yet as part of their squad because of La Liga Financial Fair Play rules. And I don't know how the La Liga Financial Fair Play rules work, but basically, you have to bring in, the general idea is that you have to bring in a certain amount of money in order to sign players with a certain fee and give them certain wages. So there's a wage cap, and there's a transfer there's a transfer cap. Basically, you have to bring in a certain amount of revenue before you can sign players of a certain value. Therefore, Barcelona have not been able to balance their books as of yet, and therefore they can't register the players that they've bought during this transfer window. And I think it relies heavily upon Frankie de Jong leaving in order for them to be able to register those players. So I don't know why they want Bernardo Silva. Well, okay, I know why they want Bernardo Silva, because he's a quality player, but I don't understand how they are kind of like they want to bid for him, because I don't know how they're going to afford him with regards to, in fact, they might be able to afford him because they have the money. They sold their TV rights and their naming rights and all that stuff, and they brought in a lot of money. But I don't know whether they're going to be able to register him, because they haven't been able to register the players that they've already signed. So I don't understand the logic behind them wanting to sign Bernardo Silva, whereas they can't even register the players that they've already signed this season. However, Pep Guardiola obviously loves Bernardo Silva and he wants Bernardo Silva to stay, but he understands that Bernardo Silva might be persuaded with moving to Barcelona, because also Bernardo Silva is a family man. He loves his family and all of that stuff. Obviously, all of us love our family, but like there are certain people who are family men, and they want to be close to their family and all of that stuff. Barcelona is very close to Portugal. Like literally, they are just separated by a few kilometers, really. So Bernardo Silva would be close to his family if he was to move to Spain. And therefore, that's one of the attractions. Obviously, there's the attraction of playing for Barcelona, or for Football Club Barcelona, which is a huge football club around the world. But there's also the attraction of moving to Spain and being close to Portugal, where his family and his friends live. So that's why he's really tempted by the move to Barcelona. However, Manchester City have put a price tag on Bernardo Silva, because Bernardo Silva at the moment has 3 years left on his contract. So his contract runs until 2025. And therefore, Manchester City say they want at least £80 million for Bernardo Silva. So that's close to 100 million euros for Bernardo Silva. Therefore, I don't know how Barcelona are going to be able to afford it, or how they're going to be able to balance their books with regards to La Liga Financial Fair Play rules. But if they are able to pay at least £80 million for Bernardo Silva, then they are possibly going to get him. Bernardo Silva is possibly going to leave and go to Barcelona. However, it's going to take at least £80 million for Manchester City to agree a transfer of Bernardo Silva with Football Club Barcelona. So those are the current news right now. There are a lot of reports saying that a fee of £60 million has already been agreed between Manchester City and Barcelona for the transfer of Bernardo Silva. Those are all fake news. Manchester City want at least £80 million for Bernardo Silva, and they're not going to sell him for anything less than £80 million. So if Barcelona are going to be able to afford that, then he's possibly going to go to Barcelona. And then also with regards to the updates, with regards to the replacements, the potential replacement of Bernardo Silva, should Bernardo Silva leave and go to Barcelona. A player that has been mentioned by Fabrizio Romano is Lucas Paqueta. He plays for Olympique Lyon in France. He's obviously been playing in the Champions League because Lyon played in the Champions League and the Europa League, and he's also played in the French League. But he's a highly rated player by Pep Guardiola and Manchester City, and he's one of the players that have been identified as potential replacements for Bernardo Silva. Should Bernardo Silva leave and go to Football Club Barcelona this off season? So those are the Manchester City news really, with regards to the players that they're linked with and the players that might potentially leave the club. Apart from that, there's nothing else really. Manchester City have done their business early. They've signed Calvin Phillips, Erling Haaland, Julian Alvarez, and Sergio Gomez, the left back right now. Fee has already been agreed, and then they've sold Sterling, Zinchenko, and Jesus. Fernandinho has left and went to Brazil. So those are the current rumors with regards to Manchester City Football Club at the minute. For like any further updates, if any further updates come up, I'll then update you guys. And then moving on to Chelsea, because I said I'll talk about mainly Manchester City, Chelsea, and Manchester United. Chelsea at the moment have obviously signed players in the transfer window. They've signed Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. They've signed Raheem Sterling. They've signed Marco Correa, who I've already mentioned in this video. And then they've also signed Kane Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa, who's a young lad. They really they really rate him highly. So he's one for the future. But Chelsea are currently looking at other players as well, in order to bolster their squad for the upcoming season. Two names that have been mentioned in the last 48 hours is Frankie de Jong and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, Manchester United fans are going to frown on when they hear this, because Manchester United have been negotiating for the transfer of Frankie de Jong since May, and it hasn't happened. So now there's a growing feeling that Todd Bowley, and Todd Bowley is obviously the new Chelsea owner. He's part of the new Chelsea owners. He's part of that venture capital. Todd Bowley and Thomas Tuchel, the Chelsea coach, are really obsessed with Frankie de Jong. They want Frankie de Jong for Chelsea, and they want to add to their midfielders by signing Frankie de Jong. And then obviously Chelsea needs a striker. I've said this in my previous videos, that I don't see Chelsea even making top 4 if they can't get a reliable goal scorer. Because last season their top scorer was Mason Mount with 11 goals. They've obviously added Sterling, who's going to offer a lot in terms of goals. But they want Aubameyang, who used to play for Arsenal, ironically London rivals. But Thomas Tuchel has previously worked with Aubameyang when he was at Dortmund, and Aubameyang scored 79 goals in 120-something games for Tuchel at Borussia Dortmund. So there's a feeling that Chelsea are interested in Aubameyang, and if they are interested in Aubameyang and Frankie de Jong, and they're prepared to pay whatever amount of money that Barcelona want for Frankie de Jong and for Aubameyang. Now, Man United have already agreed a fee for Frankie de Jong with Barcelona of £72 million. Chelsea are willing to match that offer. So obviously it's also going to be accepted by Barcelona. It's going to depend on personal terms between Chelsea and Frankie de Jong. Now, it is thought that Frankie de Jong really wants Champions League football, and that's one of the reasons why he's been reluctant with regards to agreeing a contract with Manchester United, because they are not in the Champions League. Now, Chelsea can offer him Champions League football because Chelsea are in the Champions League, and Chelsea have recently won the Champions League because they won it last year. I think it's going to be an attractive proposal from Chelsea that should they agree a fee with Barcelona, they are going to give Frankie de Jong a very attractive proposal in terms of the Chelsea project and all of that stuff, and it's going to be much more attractive than the Man United one, because Chelsea can match the money whatever money that Man United are going to offer Frankie de Jong, but they can offer Frankie de Jong something that Man United can't, which is Champions League football, which that's thought to be one of the things, one of the stumbling blocks between Manchester United and Frankie de Jong with regards to agreeing to a contract. So I think it is increasingly likely that Frankie de Jong is going to go to Chelsea should Chelsea agree a fee with Barcelona for Frankie de Jong, and Chelsea are willing to match the offer of £72 million that Man United have offered Barcelona for Frankie de Jong. And they're also obviously in for Aubameyang. They also want Aubameyang, and should Barcelona agree to sell Aubameyang to them, they also want to bring him to Stamford Bridge. So those are the Chelsea news at the moment. Those are the two players being linked with Chelsea at the moment. With regards to outgoings at Chelsea, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard any updates with regards to players that they want to move on from the club. Those are the current transfer news with regards to Chelsea. I've always said I'm going to mention Manchester United by mentioning Chelsea because of this whole Frankie de Jong saga. Because Man United are linked with Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong has been their number one option for the midfield position for the whole of the transfer, for the entirety of the transfer window. And therefore, they could be on the verge of losing Frankie de Jong to Chelsea because Chelsea can offer Frankie de Jong a Champions League football, and they are reportedly, and obviously I'm not spreading fake news here. I received this news from Fabrizio Romano, and Fabrizio Romano is very reliable. He's a very reliable source with regards to transfer news. So Thomas Tuchel and Todd Bowley are obsessed with Frankie de Jong, and they want to buy Frankie de Jong from Barcelona, and they also want to buy Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Barcelona as well. And then then also I've obviously mentioned Manchester City, Chelsea, and Man United. I also want to mention Liverpool. I've seen something today. Liverpool have agreed a new contract. They've offered Harvey Elliott, and he's agreed to the contract. They've offered Harvey Elliott a new contract, and Harvey Elliott has agreed to the new contract. Klopp really rates Harvey Elliott. So they've offered him a new 5-year contract, I think, until 2027. So those are the only news with regards to Liverpool. There's no news with regards to incomings and outgoings at Liverpool. They were reportedly looking for a midfielder, and they did inquire for Jude. They did inquire they did ask about Jude Bellingham, who plays for Borussia Dortmund. But Borussia Dortmund have basically said Jude Bellingham is not for sale for the summer. So Borussia Dortmund have already sold Erling Haaland to Manchester City, and therefore they are not interested in selling any of the other key players that they have in their squad. So Liverpool want Jude Bellingham as part of their midfield, but Borussia Dortmund don't want to sell him. So even if you offer them £150 million, they've said they do not want to sell Jude Bellingham for the summer. They will be willing to listen to offers for Jude Bellingham for next season. So that's one to keep an eye on. Liverpool are going to be pursuing Jude Bellingham for next season. They did inquire about him for this for this transfer window, but the answer from Borussia Dortmund was that it is impossible. They are not going to sell Jude Bellingham because they don't want to sell another of their key players to another club, because they've already sold Erling Haaland to Manchester City. So those are the only transfer news with regards to Liverpool. As I've said about Arsenal and Tottenham, there's nothing really, there's nothing concrete coming from those clubs at the moment. Mikel Arteta has said they want to strengthen their squad further, but there are no transfer news with regards to Arsenal or Tottenham, except that Arsenal have just sold Pablo Mari, who is a centre-back who never really played for Arsenal. He was on loan last season. They sold him to, I think, Monza. I think there's a club in Italy that has just been promoted to Serie A. It's called Monza. So they've just sold Pablo Mari to that football club. But in terms of other news with regards to Arsenal and Tottenham, there's nothing concrete with regards to the transfer news at those clubs. So if you enjoyed the video, guys, please push the thumbs up button. Please like the video, and also if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. It really massively helps, and please push that notification bell so that you can get notified each time I post a new video. Until next time, thank you for watching.